by trade, and then got my builder's license just like Sheldon. And I started off as a project manager, just running. How many did we start off with? 4 months?
Yeah, 1 a week in the beginning, yeah.
What are you guys currently doing now?
Between both.
But between, actually, we'll talk about that as well. Between both branches, what are you between both branches now?
There's 4 a week.
4 a week?
4 to 5 a week, yeah.
Between 16 to 20 a month?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Even like pumping it up like after 6 months, up to 8 bathrooms, like it was quite a stepping stone.
It's the thing is though, like I feel like we're not pushing it, as in it's naturally growing to that stage. Like we get a lot of people, don't grow too quick, or don't sort of, which is, there's an element of truth to it, and I do take that on board. But at the same time, like we're not doubling our marketing just to get more people in the door. Like it's just naturally growing.
It's growing.
Yeah.
You got your marketing that you're doing through, paid advertising, you're organic, you're really out there, but also you're getting a lot of referrals, which when we moved to the Sunshine Coast was a lot slower, but now that's starting to pick up as well.
Yeah, sure.
And good advice, right? Growing too quickly without having the systems and processes in place. So, Alex, you were project manager first, and then you've transitioned into
the sales estimator branch manager.
Yeah, man. And do you find, by having been a project manager first, this helped you with the sales? Like, do you see a relation there?
I think it gave me a good understanding of like the project first, of what we were delivering, and then to sell what you deliver, you'd really have to be a believer in what product you deliver. So coming straight into a sales role, I wouldn't have known what like goes on outside what we actually do and stuff, like photos on the internet. So being out on the field, knowing like how the boys work, how they clean, everything like that, and do a neat quality job made it easier to sell the product.
Yeah, so that's massive, isn't it? Like just genuinely, wholeheartedly believing that we can solve the people's problems.
Exactly.
And you speak about that all the time.
Look, if you're training anybody in sales and they aren't 100% convinced in the product that they're selling, it's hard, right? Because if you believe in what you're selling and you can help people and you genuinely feel that, the sale is easier. If you're like, oh man, I'm going to sell this and I don't know whether the boys are actually going to deliver on it, that's where the hesitation comes in. So, and you're both believers of the product. You do a good product.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about, like, are there... you talk about bathrooms. You said you love bathrooms. What's special about bathrooms? That you said a short time that you're in and you're out.
Like it's a short turnaround. Instead of everyone know house builders can like drag on the projects. You always rain delays, everything like that, and it seems like you're not really getting the satisfaction as quick. Yeah. Where bathrooms 4-week turnaround, you really made a product real quick and you're getting that satisfaction. So it's good to look forward to that. Instead of house building, you're waiting a year before you can get the finised product and everything like that.
A lot of time for relationships to go sour, right?
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, but one man's trash is another man's treasure. You speak to some builders and they go, oh, geez, I'd hate to have all those short jobs. You're dealing with all those different people. Whereas what you're saying is you come in, you provide this amazing solution in a short period of time, and then people are like, wow. Yeah. What was the highlight for you? Like you analysed your work, you saw the work you were doing, you selected bathrooms. Was there any other particular reason other than like good money and you enjoyed it? Like, what do you enjoy?
Obviously the money was there and I did enjoy it, which was a big one. But also, this might sound a bit strange, but it was difficult, as in there's a lot of trades in a short period of time in a small space. And I spoke to a lot of other builders and they didn't really like doing it. And I was just like, if I can find a way to streamline this, like imagine what's on the other side, I was just talking to a builder yesterday, Josh, and he was saying like he used to do bathrooms, but now someone rings him, he's like, just couldn't be bothered, it's just too hard basket, it's not streamlined, he's not even close to where we are. So for him, he just sort of passes it on. So I think that's where a lot of the success is so niche and so specific and systemized for what we do, that it's almost a no-brainer.
And Josh passes those on to you with confidence because you've positioned you like you can do it. He's like, I can't do it as well as Sheldon can and Alex can from Custom Bathroom Creations. Just go to them. They'll look after you. They're amazing.
Yeah,
and you've built up this massive portfolio. So actually, let's talk about a couple of things. One was dealing with multiple trades. Can you remember that particular exercise you did with the guys that just mapped out everything? Talk us through that, because I think that was a game changer.
Yeah, I think you enjoyed this one too. So we did. You probably have a name for it, but I don't know. I just call it the sticky note exercise.
It was actually it was from a YouTube video called Making Toast.
Yes, that's right. Making toast. How to make toast. Yeah, I remember that now. You're right. So once we got to a certain size, there might have been maybe 7 of us at that point in time, a few different trades, tilers, painters, carpenters, project manager, all that sort of thing. And we were at a point where it was starting to really sail along, but there was no documented system or process in place. And so because that wasn't there, we were getting to a point where things were starting to break down a little, like it was working, but it wasn't as good as it could be. So I spoke to you and we're like, all right, we're at the point where we really need to document what we do. So I got the guys into a room, scheduled a whole day off into the office, and sat down. I did the little sticky note trick, how to peel a sticky note correctly. Maybe you can put a little video of that up of what that is, because that really resonated. I like that. I claimed it as my own.
Taught us.
Yeah. And basically I said to the guys...
Sorry, just lift up your mic a bit. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So I said to the guys, split up into your different trades. So the tilers, painters, chippies, they all went to their own area. And I said, write down on the sticky notes how you do your job. And they were like, okay. And they all had about 3 sticky notes to do their entire job. You know what I mean? Like Tyler was like cut tile, glue tile, stick tile on the wall. And that was like about it. And I was like, well, that's obviously not how you do your job, So then we really dove into it. And I ended up with about 30 sticky notes per position for each step along the way to how to do the job. And every time they said they were finished, I would go over there and look at it and try and look at it as if I knew absolutely nothing about anything and say, well, how do you get from here to here? And they were like, obviously you just do that. And it's like, it's not obvious.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? It's only obvious because, what is it? Unconsciously competent? I think that's the phrasing that you use. Yeah. You just do it because you've done it so many times and you don't realise that you're even doing it. So anyway, I went through that whole exercise, and like I said, they mapped out each position from the beginning to the end of how to do the job. And then over the next couple of weeks, we collated that into a full systemised process. And now, when we onboard new staff, they get a copy of this system and process, which essentially says, this is how we do your job from start to finish. If you follow this to a T, you can't go wrong. Yeah. So it's awesome for onboarding.
Yeah, custom bathroom creations way. That's the way we do things around here. It's crystal clear. Everybody knows what everybody else is doing as well. Yeah, did it make your job a lot easier?
Oh, way easier. And then you can always refer back to it, like, what did that position, description, portfolio, whatever we call it.
The flow chart.
The flow chart.
Yeah.
So whatever flow chart, what did it say? Like, what's your next step? Like, yep, you're done. Step 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is your next step. Have you done it?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, nah. We'll go back and do it.
Yeah.
Like, read over that before you finish the job, kind of thing. Like, always have it on you. It's so handy to always refer back to.
And also what's good as well is I think the other trades started to understand what the other guys were going through, so they understood why things were being done in that order or in that way. So suddenly the team comes together. They're not working against each other. They're actually working with each other.
The best example of that was probably Morris with the painting, because everyone thinks, clean the wall, paint the wall. You know what I mean? Like, that's all that's it. Yeah, 2 instead of 3. But then, like, when he fully mapped his process out and the amount of work that went into the preparation and selecting the right brush and the roller for the application, the paint, and how he does, everyone was a bit like, even myself, being a carpenter, I was like, oh, wow, like, there's a fair bit that goes into that, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it was, it was pretty eye-opening. And it was good, like you said, for all the trades to really understand what goes on,
Even just coming down to, like, painting and the tilers. Like, heaps of tilers go in and silicon their bathroom, where most people don't know that paint and silicon don't like each other, don't stick to each other. So we literally had to tell the tilers, like, don't silicon next to painted surfaces, so then the painter can paint and the painter can silicon.
Yeah, right.
And it's just those tiny little nuances of the trade that make all the difference. Like, it's the tiniest little thing, but over 200 bathrooms in 12 months, that's phenomenal difference.
Yeah, and you've perfected it down, right? So and that gives you the confidence to sell again, and it's fantastic. And okay, so let's talk a little bit about recruitment as well. Like, initially you had quite a number of subbies. I think it was it a Tyler where you just turned around and said, Sam, I've done the sums and I reckon I'm better off employing a Tyler. So that was maybe when you had only a couple of staff. How many staff have you currently got now between the two branches?
27.
27 staff.
Yeah.
Full-time staff, they're not subbies? Correct, right. So why that? Why? A lot of people say, subbies, it's easier, I suppose this will end up being a marketing question as well. The problem with subbies is workflow. If you've got a lumpy workflow, subbies make sense.
Yeah. You've
solved that with your marketing where you've got a consistent flow of quality leads, but now you had to employ a lot of people, and people go, you can't find tilers, you can't find carpenters, you can't find painters. You've done that recruitment pretty efficiently. So let's talk through.
Yeah, so first question, why so many employees? Again, the business was just naturally growing. The perfect example is that we just brought the plumbing in-house. It got to the point where the plumbers were doing, 6-7 jobs a week for us in terms of rough-ins and fit-offs. And it's like what we were getting charged for the contract rate to what we could pay someone full-time in-house. It just made sense, you know what I mean? It was on par, if not less, but you're getting 40 hours a week full access, I suppose. So that was the same with the tilers, with the paint and all that sort. It just naturally grew to the point where it was better off bringing it in-house. And you've got more control. You follow your flow charts because obviously contractors are their own business, so they have their own way of doing things. So that's sort of how it's grown. We're just talking off air before about how if we go a little bit more, because it sort of just wants to, then we can bring the plastering in-house as well because there's enough work to support it. So it's just another level of control on top of that.
Yeah.
In terms of finding them,
let's talk about finding staff. Because they seem to be coming to you like bees to honey, right?
Yeah, well, I just said as we were walking in here, I had 6 people apply for the tiling job in a weekend, which if anyone's in construction listening to this will probably fall off their chair.
Let's put a date on this, right? So we are sitting in September 2024. We're trying to find staff. People are running ads. Nobody's responding. Woe is me.
Sure.
And then you're busy crushing it. Why do you think that is, and what is your process?
Why do I think it is? Okay, I think initially getting people in the door. I'm not sure if you agree with this, but I honestly think it's the presence on social media. So we're certainly not we don't have millions of followers, but we're very consistent. We're putting out a lot of content, showing obviously the finished product, but also the team and the process to get to that finished product. And I think people resonate with that, and it just comes across as professional. We're all in uniform. Yeah. There's the stickers on the cars and the job site signs out the front, and it's presented professionally, And I think people resonate with that because in the construction industry there is a lot of cowboys. It's just the way it is, I suppose. I'd like to change that one day somehow, but
that's true as well. And people want to be on a winning team. It looks like you guys are winning. Yeah,
that's correct. So I think that's a big one. Like, I even we had someone ring yesterday that we're not looking for a tiler, but said, "Hey, I'm a tiler. Do you have a job?" Yeah. We don't. But we're probably going to hire him, and you know what I mean? Because if he's good, we don't want to sort of let it slip through the cracks. So I think that's a big one. But then once they're in the door, getting them over the line, right? Because if you're a tiler in September 24, you can pick anyone. You know what I mean? You could literally just ring anyone in the business and you'd get a job. So it's one thing to get them in the door, but you've still got to get them over the line to commit, and be part of the culture and all that sort of stuff. And for me, it goes back again to the flow charts, the position descriptions, the pay scales documents, the working with documents. So they rock up and I can just go, boom, here it is. This is what you're doing. This is what you expect to do. This is how we do it. This is what our culture is. Go check out our socials. You'll see a bit of stuff about the boys, and it's just like, what more could you want? You know what I mean?
And they're either in or they're out, right? Like they look at your culture or your working with document or your pay scales, which is how people can earn more money working with you, which is something we've developed. And they'll either look at it and go, wanker.
Yeah.
And if that's it, that's fine. That's actually really good response because they're not our people.
Yeah.
But if they turn around and go, hell man, I'm all in. I love this. I want to be part of this. Then, they get in. How have you found it, Alex? Now Sheldon's opened up the branch down on the Sunshine Coast. You're running the branch up here in Cairns. How do you find it? People want to work for you. You're holding them accountable. Has it made your job easier? Talk us a bit through that.
I think it's definitely easier having more in-house. Like just for the fact, you can put this person there and put that person there. Like unfortunately, the contractors world is all up and down like crazy. You don't really know when they turn up to site. So, like, for example, we were discussing the other week, like, small bathrooms, you can only put one trade in there at a time.
I've got a small bathroom for you guys. You're gonna have to find a midget for mine.
Like, having that in-house stuff, saying we can put a plumber there at 7 o'clock in the morning and tell the electrician to come after lunch.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Where with the contractor, you can't really determine what time they go do, especially like up here, they like come and go. Yeah, you can tell them to be on site at 7 o'clock all the time, but who says they go come there? So you get like heaps. The electrician will rock up and the plumber hasn't been yet. And you're like, come on, guys. Like, so it makes it easier like that. And then with like taking people on board, like doing the interviews and everything, I really think like social media has that impact. But even just like coming like with all the schedules, everything intact and all the processes in place, they're like it's a dream job kind of thing because I don't have to call anyone to get work. I don't have to ring people to get paid. Like,
and now that you're just talking through that, I think maybe some of it is clarity. There's clarity around what the job is, what they're expected to do, what we're going to provide them, and what we expect from them. I guess. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
love it.
And I think like just certainty of work because like we both built brand new houses and everything like that. And just like the delays and job, can you start on this date? And then that tile is delayed by 2 weeks. What are they supposed to do where we
and with those big jobs, with those new builds, every day you run over, it's hundreds of dollars that you run late. Actually, you know, that reminds me, remember when we put a bonus system in place, the first bonus system we did, which was we try to get the jobs done quicker. And then after a couple of months, you came and you're like, your hair's all messed up and you're like, this isn't fucking working. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so what's the difference? He says, well, the problem is if we move things forward, then we've got to reschedule trades and whatever, and it just creates more work. So we're going to rather do a bonus system that we finish on time, not before time, on time. Because that way then we're not rearranging everybody and creating additional work for the office.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Quickly, group interviews. What was your first thought of group interviews, and what is your thought of interviews now?
I don't think you've been involved in one yet, have you? No.
Not yet.
No, I didn't come down. Not yet.
You might have to come down when we do the next one.
So let's just give some context. Sunshine Coast, we've worked out what, up here in Cairns. Actually, let's go back a step, right? With Cairns, if you look at the way you recruited, like the order that you recruited people, can you remember what that looked like?
In terms of like from the very beginning and how it grew.
Yeah. Because initially you were 3 full-time staff.
Yeah.
See, how many?
27.
That meeting yesterday, we had more like
I know.
office was
just got
full.
off the phone to the accountant. I was like, mate, we need a bigger shed to make this happen. They were like sardines in a tin. We didn't even have chairs. Just stand up.
Standing room only.
I do remember the order, but it was a bit of a. I've never done it before. I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like, and to be completely candid, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not going to say I did. I just tried. Yeah. Some things worked, some things didn't.
Okay, so let's rephrase it. What would you suggest would be the order? So somebody's like, there's a builder, like he's a builder. Yeah. He's going, he's maybe got one tradesman and he's brought in an apprentice. Yeah. And it's like, what do I do now? Like,
don't hire the apprentice.
Don't hire the apprentice. Isn't that interesting, right? People always think an apprentice is a cheap hire. They're one of your most expensive hires because they take up the most time and can do the least amount of work.
Yeah. So that was definitely something that I did that I not regret, because I don't regret it because I learned from it.
Yeah,
but
correct.
I wouldn't do again. Yeah. Is hired the apprentice too early. Did some content around this the other day, but you kind of think that will ease the load, and they're a cheap labourer and they're going to do all this and just pack up, clean up, sweep the floors. But in reality, that's not true, because how long does it take to sweep a floor? Half an hour. How long does it to pack up, set up? Half an hour each. What do they do for the other 6 hours of the day? You know what I mean? So you got to spend the time teaching them and showing them, and they end up taking more time away than what they give you back. And I'm now of the belief you bring an apprentice on when things are, if not slower. So you've got the time to show them. Because if you're balls to the wall, so to speak, you don't want to be slowing down to show someone how to do it, because then you're effectively going backwards, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hindsight's a great thing. You probably even told me that at the time and I didn't listen. Who knows?
It is a mistake that people make. They hire apprentices too soon thinking it's cheap labour, right?
Yeah.
It's normally a tradesman, then another tradesman. If you've got two good tradesmen, then you've got time to start bringing in your apprentice.
Yeah.
Then you're going to bring in most probably another tradesman before you bring in another apprentice.
Yeah.
But then your office is now busy. And now you need an admin person is my thinking around it.
Yeah. No, 100%. Definitely agree with that. And I'm not saying I'm against apprentices. Like, again, with
crucial.
For example, with the tiling thing, if no one hires or trains tiling apprentices, for the rest of our working life, Alex, we're going to have the issue of trying to find tilers. Like, nothing will change.
Yeah.
So, like, I still think it's important to, even if they leave the business, right? Even if you train them up and they leave, it's still not all lost because that's one more tiler into the talent pool, frees up someone else, and you might get someone else, you know what I mean? So, thinking big picture, I think it's still very important. But yeah, definitely hire tradesmen first, then the apprentice potentially, and then you got to start offloading. In my experience, start offloading office stuff. You know, general admin, paying invoices, almost data entry type work that can be delegated, and you can show someone how to do it fairly cheaply and easily. You know what I mean? Because that's not where your time is best spent. Like, you, as the business owner, paying invoices isn't growing the business. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to give that to somebody that can comfortably do the work while you go out and work on what the next bit of work Sam is giving you. Whatever the homework is, you know what I mean?
But working, people often use that term like working on the business, and they use it like,
it's a cliche, but it's true.
It's true though. Yeah. And as you work on those things, like once you've worked out a recruitment strategy, then when you need to recruit somebody, you can rinse and repeat it. You've got the job description, you've got the interview questions, you've got the adverts that work. You've also identified a whole lot of adverts that don't work, right?
Yeah.
Like people often go, we had it on the call the other day. I ran an ad, didn't get any responses. And it's like, okay, how many other ads have you done? None. Sheldon, in the meantime, is like, I've done 4 different ads this week alone for tilers. Yeah. Actually, that one you did with the guys holding the
and that worked.
How funny was it? It worked,
yeah,
right?
and that was the one. Yeah.
So
I had a conversation with Olivia, who does my marketing. All marketing's in-house now because, again, at that point, contractors are costing more than what it was in-house. And she was educating me on it, which is, I love that. Like, I've hired someone that knows more than me about something, which is the best.
Yeah.
That's a whole conversation unto itself. But, and she was saying, like, it's so important from a marketing perspective, she was saying, to learn from what doesn't work, you know what I mean, as much as what does work. And I was like, that's an interesting way to think about it because, you know, might do 4 ads and only one works, but she's trying to work out what didn't work on the other 3 so that we don't repeat that in other areas, I suppose.
Yeah. And again, that comes through a common mentor. You've met him better than I have, Alex Hormozy, and he speaks about that, you know, looking back and going, what is working? Let's do more of that. What's not working? Let's do less of that. Actually, you want to talk a bit about that, about your opportunity going over? Just talk us through that because I think that's pretty amazing, dude.
Yeah, so Alex Hormozy, my wife says I've got a man crush on him. Which probably isn't too, there you go. Look, you're backing around. It's not too far from the truth. So, look, I
thought it was me.
Don't worry, I'm starting to feel the same way.
Fan club.
He got us all.
I started consuming his content. If anyone that's listening hasn't seen it, definitely highly recommend. He's very relatable, and I could relate to a lot of his stories about the struggles in the beginning and then how he got to where he was. Anyway, they have like a workshop type offering, I suppose, and you go on the website, you send in all your details, you got to apply to get in, do a phone interview, send all your business, financials and how long you've been in business, how many staff you got, and all that sort of stuff. And I got an invite to go. That was earlier this year, so that in itself, like, I just about fell off my chair. I couldn't believe it. You know,
I was stoked for you. I was so happy for you.
Yeah, like, just honestly, when I saw it, I went home to Kim, my wife, and said, have you seen this? And then she's like, are you going to apply? And I was like, I'll never get in. Like, we're just in a small town, Cairns. We're just doing bathrooms. Like, kids. I went to a primary school with 9 kids. You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing applying for something like this, you know? And she basically said, like, well, what have you got to lose?
Dude, I like him a lot.
You know, like, and I was like, if I apply and don't get in, I'm where I started. Who cares? If I apply and do get in, well, I'm off to the US. You know what I mean? So I applied and I got in. Flew over there for a 2-day workshop and
on a 10-day holiday.
I had a little bit of R&R in there. So that was just, I don't even know where to start. It was just a whole nother level, so eye-opening, you know. Like, went from being, like, without blowing smoke up our ass, like, we're reasonably successful now. We're at a point where we're quite profitable and it's predictable work, and I feel like we've built something pretty good. And I went from that over to there, and I was the dumbest person in the room. You know what I mean?
And how good's that, though? Like, you're in this amazing environment,
yeah, I was talking to people that had hundreds of millions of dollars business, you know what I mean? Like, and it was just like, I had literally 36 pages of notes that I'd taken. It was just like chicken scratch on a page over the 2 days. Like the second day, it finished at 7:30. I was up till 2 a.m. just unloading my brain full of notes, you know. So
how good's that?
Yeah, so that's still ongoing. I'm excited to see where that sort of takes us, yeah.
And again, it was sort of a growth stage. Like when we met, you were in survival.
I didn't know.
Money coming in, money going out. You didn't know
the
what
difference
was going
between
on.
markup and margin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and if anyone listening doesn't know that, you need to know that.
That's important.
But that's honestly where it was. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then you went survival. Then you went up to the next level, stable business. Then you went to a successful business. You know, paying yourself a really good wage. The hours were coming down, everything, and then you made that decision.
Yeah.
To scale, which was then opening up on the Sunshine Coast. I learned a lot of lessons there, and now you're looking at Brisbane next.
Yeah, sure. So. I would love to say a little caveat on that little whirlwind growth story. Would not have been able to do it without Alex. Like, I would not in a million years.
This is Alex that's sitting here, not Alex.
Yeah, not Alex Emosi.
Alex Emosi.
I just wanted to clarify.
Alex sitting next to me.
We're pretty much the same people.
It was an important decision, right? When you went down to, like, when you were looking at opening up the Sunshine Coast, like, part of the risk analysis is, like, who's going to run Cairns, you know, and we spoke about you, Alex. Good things.
Massive
risk. But, you know, you came in, you're following the systems. You've done an amazing job.
Yeah.
That's enabled you to do that. So,
and I think for me, it was obviously a culture. Well, backstory, I've known Alex since I was about 6.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I did not realise that.
Yeah. So we've been friends for a very, very long time.
Very long time.
Which could be a good thing or a bad thing, right?
100%. Yeah, 100%. And so I think obviously culture fit. We've been mates for a long time. That's sort of a given. But you've bought into the vision. And I think that's hard to find, you know, like I said earlier, coming from a small town to have a big vision, Australia, tall poplar syndrome, right? You know, you start to do well, start to have big goals, and everyone, you can't do that. What do you mean? Like, you know, but to have you just buy into it, and man, I'd come to you and say, hey, I want to do this. What do you think? And one, you'd always give me an honest opinion, which I do appreciate.
Cool, you're not a yes man.
Definitely not a yes man.
Because
That's important, right? You want people that can challenge you.
If
he goes down, I go down.
You're fully committed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but like, if I come to you with an idea and you don't think it's a good idea, you will say, "Oh, I'm not sold on that." You know what I mean? But if I do come to you with an idea and you're in, it's like, fuck yeah, let's do this. Yeah, it's all in. You know, it's and that's that's invaluable.
No, you don't want yes men, because yes men will lead you down the path and then go. With people that will challenge you is really, really good. And that's, and again, because you've got a relationship, there's a saying, you know, trust equals speed. If you can trust somebody, then things can happen a lot quicker. If you can trust the system, then things happen a lot quicker. You know, there's always that trust but verify. You're very good at keeping metrics in your business. You've got the dashboard, so you know exactly number of leads coming in, what our conversion rate to quotes is, what our conversion rate is to jobs, what the average dollar sale is. You're tracking a whole lot of metrics, gross profit margins, which makes it really easy, right? Like, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, weekly it comes through. I know what the dashboard's saying. If I'm not performing well, it's going to tell me, and I can go back to my week and be like, what did I do wrong this week? Like, and go back through
what's
everything.
changed?
Yeah, what's changed? Like, is something's changing? Why isn't this working? And try to figure out the problem. And with the systems in place, you can read through it and just, maybe I'll tweak this a little bit and see if it's actually going to work. Like, we tweaked the paid quote script the other day, and it takes a little bit to get used to, but then once it's happening, it works now. It's because it wasn't working down south, and it works up here now too. So
it wasn't huge changes, just
little things.
Yeah, just little things here and there, but it just evolves, I suppose, as you're going along. Yeah,
but also like your backstory. I mean, you played sports at a high level. Did you play a lot of sport as well?
No,
but you did, right?
Sport,
and it's the small things that make a big difference, right?
Yeah, consistently though.
Yes,
like, you got to. I don't want to be preachy, but I feel like if you can do something consistently over a long period of time, you will beat most people.
Yeah.
I mean,
you really
like,
have to be in it, but you can't just like
consistently
half-yard it either.
Yeah, like consistently do something. Like the biggest one for me even is our Monday meetings. You know,
yeah, that's a good example.
We brought in meetings every Monday. We'd come in and sit down, talk about the week that was, the week that's coming. And we saw a quick spike in people buying in and the systems being followed because we were talking about them all the time. And I guess the easy thing to do would be like, oh, it's all going well. We'll just drop back to fortnightly or monthly or something like that. And it's like, no. Like Monday meeting is non-negotiable.
Yeah,
like you come to the Monday meeting.
Yeah.
Literally every week something new will come up that we can like better ourselves on.
Yeah.
Like every single week there's something that we can better ourselves on.
And you're catching things early, right? So it's just small changes. And it's a great example. We see that. Everything's running smoothly. We'll just push out the frequency of the meetings. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we've missed one meeting, missed two meetings, missed three meetings, and then things have turned to custard. And it's like, oh, what's going on? It's just consistent. And they don't have to be long. Yeah. They don't have to be long at all.
Yeah.
It's just, but they have to have an agenda and they have to have an outcome.
I think it's good having all the boys together too. And then like, not saying they nitpick at each other, but they can tell the other trade, oh, can you do this a little bit better because it makes my job easier in the end and stuff like that. And like some construction sites, you never see anyone kind of thing. Yeah. So you don't really know the finished product to the start product. So it makes it easier to just, if you do this a little bit better, it'll make my job easier, then I'll do this. Like just, for example, cutting holes in a tile for the plumbing pipes and everything. Oh, if you make it this side, it really fits everything better instead of making it too big or too small and stuff like that. Like,
how good's that?
I'm of the opinion though, like if you're in the meeting with your staff and they're bringing up little things like, oh, instead of siliconing, leave it for me and I'll do it after because I'm painting, right? That's the littlest thing. But how good is it to have a company where you're having a meeting about something so small like that? You're splitting hairs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if you came in the meeting and said, fuck me, John, like why'd you waterproof that? It just peeled off the wall like a sticker. You know what I mean? Like that's a major. But if you go into the meeting like, oh, can you just make that hole 1 mil bigger next time because it makes me easier for me to put a screw in or whatever. Like that's a positive. You know what I mean? Like you might feel like you're nitpicking, to use your words in the beginning, but
he listens.
But like zoom out. If that's what the issue for the week was, like, man, you're doing something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. So
again, what would you say to people that turn around and go, meetings are so expensive, I've got to pay for everybody to be there? Like that's often the excuse. They go, Sam, if you work out the cost of us having a meeting, it's like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars an hour. What would you say to them?
Oh, don't buy coffees.
Try lattes. I saw some pink drinks at the meeting yesterday.
A bit different, isn't it?
Like that's just it's just short-sighted thinking.
Short-sighted.
It's very short-sighted, you know, like it does cost money, but it's the value that they get from it, you know what I mean? So again, using the silicon example, if that hadn't got touched on at a meeting, that was a half an hour meeting, if that one issue came up over 8 bathrooms a week for 48 weeks of a year and that had to be rectified 1 hour each time, like you work that back to the meeting, a 5-minute conversation, like
why wouldn't you do it?
You've just paid for like 10 meetings just in that one conversation, you know what I mean? So that's not to say have meetings every day, you know, just for the sake of having meetings. So, like, you know, that's
very productive.
A meeting has to have an agenda and has a specific outcome. And certain people need to be at that meeting, not everybody. Like, there's certain topics. There's a general meeting and then there's specific meetings. Hey, let's change it up a little bit, right? So, Alex, like, if somebody was thinking of coming and working for custom bathroom creations, like, why would they? Like, what would you say to them? Like, what would your
Oh, That's a tough one.
You can edit that out.
I think it's just a good culture. Everyone like gets along together. We've got all the formats in place, and you know what your job is. You know what entitles every day, and everything's looked after, kind of thing. Like you can just rock up and do your job.
And
like,
do what you do best,
do
right?
What you
Rock
do
up,
best.
do what you do best, and get the best possible
results. And you don't
results.
have to deal with all the stuff behind the scene. Like I said at the start, everyone thinks getting off the tools, it's going to be easy, right? Like, yeah, whatever, I'm just going around looking at jobs. But, like, there's so much behind the scenes that people on site that would not even think about. So I think just the ease of the job coming in, like, yeah, we do have schedules and everyone's got the dates to be done by and all that kind of stuff. But just the flow of the jobs make it so much easier for the workers, so they're happy.
Yeah.
If you've got an unhappy worker, well, they're going to be gone in 2 weeks.
I've got a statistic for you that I'm quite proud of. Since we went full-time just bathrooms, we've only had one person leave.
Wow.
In those years.
Wow.
Like, obviously, we've pushed a few out the door.
Yeah. So you've had one person leave that you wish they hadn't left.
Correct.
And then you've had a couple of
before that, during general construction, we
resignations.
had people leave, but that was my fault, you know. Ideal work, ideal clients, just a hodgepodge of whatever. But when we sort of went down the path of the bathrooms, in those years, only one person. He sort of left to start his own sort of show. But I'm pretty proud of that. Like to have that many staff over that sort of time frame and only have one sort of leave. I think, well, I tell myself it comes down to the culture and the systems and the process, not the money. I mean, the money's good.
Yeah.
But I don't think people stay for money. You know what I mean? Again, Tyler's perfect example.
Yeah.
Sure as shit, they could go work on a commercial site and probably get paid more, a lot more. But I don't think the culture's there. I don't think the job's there. And I guess that appeals to people, you know. Yeah. So
you're seeing guys have to succeed, right? Because of the systems and processes and it's predictable, they can get on and do what they're really, really good at. And I'm sure your guys, when you finish a bathroom, and that's another thing you do really well, right, is you get professional photos of the bathroom, and people can turn around and go, "Fuck yeah, I was involved in that. I did that."
Yeah, I think that helps out heaps, especially like all the boys when they see it on Instagram and everything. I'm no like guru on social media, but
you don't need to be, right?
Yeah, exactly. All the boys love it and everything, and they can like look back and a photo reel comes up and they'll just be like, holy heck, I actually did that.
Yeah, it's funny.
It just makes it so nice.
I was talking to a good mate of mine who's a physio in Cairns, and he ran into one of our staff at a barbecue a few months ago, and he said to me, he's like, you know what he spoke about the whole time? All he did was bring up photos of the bathrooms that he completed for hours at this barbecue. He was like, I did this one, look at this one. Like,
I think it's a really good package even just for the clients itself. Like they can turn around, go onto the website, look at all the bathrooms we have done and be like, oh yeah, that one's mine. That's actually in my house. Like, look how nice it looks.
Yeah.
Love it. So I'm looking at doing a bathroom. I'm curious for both of you. What would be 3 must-have features for any bathroom, you reckon?
The CBC logo on your lawn out the front.
Us doing it.
Yeah, that's it.
You go?
I'll go?
Yeah.
So I'm probably going with shelves to put all your products and stuff on. That's one of my must-have. And then I do like just a free walk-in shower. And I'm not a big fan on glass. I try to stick away from glass myself if I was doing it. So probably half-height walls with shelves, lineal drains, and big tiles.
Big tiles. Why no glass? Don't like cleaning?
I don't like cleaning it.
There we go.
When was the last time you cleaned a bathroom at home?
Yeah, well, he's got a good point.
We'll have to show this one to Serena.
Yeah.
For me, I like little tiles. Alex and I clash over this all the time.
All the time.
I'm more of I like the Kit Kats or the mosaic, penny round mosaics, that sort of thing. I love a texture and that sort of vibe, I suppose. I also like curves, so curved mirrors, curved glass, that sort of thing. They're very in fashion at the moment, and you really can only do curves with small tiles, so that goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Those two, and then, definitely the walk-in shower. So if possible, sometimes you can't do it, but if you can have just the walk-in shower, so no door, step, that sort of thing. It just it flows better, makes it feel a lot open. So they're the 3 that I would probably
Cool, man.
get in there.
And have we got a funny like renovation story or something that's happened where you just turn around and just you're like looking around going, there must be a camera here filming us? Like, have you had any of those sort of situations where you think you've been set up or just like what the hell's going on?
I got a feeling.
There was that.
Probably got the.
There was that demo last week. That was interesting.
Oh, the snake.
The snake.
Yeah. The snake. That was a bit different.
The guys did a demo pulling out a inbuilt bathtub, and there was a snake living in there, like a what, 2.5 meter python.
2.5 meter. Yeah.
No way.
In their ensuite, just living
underneath
under
the bathtub. We don't know how it really even got there.
Yeah.
Or how it got out.
Well,
how was it getting in there?
How long was it in there? Like, I don't know. Like,
so these
how it would
guys
get back up the wall if it came down the wall. Did it fall down? I don't know.
Well, sleeping next to the snake for God knows how long. It was a big snake. He was healthy, so he'd been there a while.
Jeez, and we lost our cattle a couple of weeks ago. No
rats in that place. But it was fortunate enough. Actually, like one of the demo boys is actually like a snake handler.
Okay.
So he grew up with snakes, and he wrangled it pretty well. So
and took it away. Got to live another day.
Yeah, they took it up the mountain and everything, so they definitely disposed of him.
Yeah, I hope they didn't bloody drop it off near our house. I was driving home the other night, and there was a 3 meter scrubby across the road, and there was a guy with a torch flagged me down, and sort of watched him go. It was only like 50 meters from our house, so I said to Lindy, "We got 2 like little dogs, like handbag accessories. They're not real dogs." I'm like, they cannot go out unaccompanied. Sure. You had another story? Was there?
Yeah, mine is probably we actually done one bathroom, and the client actually wanted to paint it blue.
Blue.
So all the walls got painted blue. Even I think you mentioned that one. Like, who picked the colour for this bloke?
Yeah, that bathroom was. I don't even say teal.
Yeah, teal maybe. I don't know what colour it was.
But he was so happy.
Yeah, stoked.
He could not have been happier.
That wasn't a house in Redlands, was it?
No, it was just where was it? I can't remember.
Moorabool.
Yeah,
it was in
Moorabool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Little house and everything. And due to it was only getting shower recess tiles only, not floor to ceiling right around, we put aqua check in there because it paints up a little bit better and looks nicer. And he's like, I love the colour of that aqua check
just
colour.
The raw material.
Raw material. Can we paint it that colour? I was like, no. No, we cannot. Can we just paint it white, please?
Yeah.
So I think, it was a grey tile. And then
grey and white, and then just blue walls. Yeah.
Wow.
And I thought I was getting set up for sure. I thought Sheldon done something to me. But
okay, let's flip it around. What would be your favourite all-time Instagram-worthy bathroom where you turn around to people and go, "That's the bathroom we did"?
I've got one that I like, but it's interesting because when you say Instagram-worthy, I don't think. People look at it and they go, "Man, that's nice. That's really nice." This is Pine Tree, the main bathroom.
So we picked the same one.
Yeah.
Weird.
But what Instagram doesn't show is the level of skill and work that went into making it happen. So, this house is on the side of a hill, and the bedroom was there. We had to cut a hole through the wall, extended the bathroom onto the deck. So this bathroom ended up being 10, 15 square metres. It was massive, you know. Had to cut a hole into the side of the hill, form up concrete, dig a trench down the hill for the water to get away. Huge amounts of work. And just to make it waterproof and function, all that sort of thing. We do have professional photos and that we can put up. But it's nice. It's phenomenal. But again, unless you can appreciate the work that went into it, I don't think, you know what I mean?
I think people would probably just see it as wow.
Oh, yeah, that's nice, but on to the next, you know what I mean?
The whole thing was dug by hand. We couldn't get excavators up there. It was 900, not even 900. I think it was 750. We could barely fit the dingo up there. And to get products up, it's up a steep hill. And the skip bin driver had trouble getting up the hill and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it was.
I think
it went for 14, 16 weeks or something.
Wow.
Massive job.
And
it all came together and
the clients
they're
over the moon.
Stoked. Couldn't be happier. And that was the second bathroom we'd done for them. So it was the downstairs one was a bit of a trial run.
Yeah.
Then we got the green light for that one.
And it was it's phenomenal.
But I guess that's anything, the harder you work for it or the more that goes into it, the more satisfaction you get from it at the end. You know what I mean? I feel like that plays a big part into why we both like that, because like, don't sell yourself short. Like, you put a lot of effort and skill into that. Like,
this was before we even had the 3D drawings.
This is early days, you know. So
like early,
and just making it obviously to code and actually function how we wanted it to do, and just had to think on the spot. It was Alex took the lead on it, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and also we'll say for the sake is like you wouldn't want one of those bathrooms every week, right?
Oh no, I
mean, but it was just a project that you just nailed,
just a one-off. Yeah, sure.
Because I mean, just very quickly, I mean, you Sheldon, basically created almost an instant quoting tool that's pretty bloody accurate.
Yeah.
And to do that, did you turn around and you said like there's basically 4 types or 6 types of bathrooms?
That's 2 different things. So one is the estimator tool. So because we are so niche now, we can estimate what a bathroom's going to cost based on 12 metrics, essentially. So you answer 12 questions as part of that, and you get an estimated cost of the bathroom, which differs based on your location. The 6 templates that you're referring to was the schedule types.
Oh, right.
So we've worked out that every bathroom reno that we do, other than something like that, which sort of pops up once a blue moon, fits into one of these 6 schedule types. Yeah. So again, it's just systemizing and that.
That's it.
And we've actually just last week completed building a schedule generator. So basically, I put into that the job address, the start date, and it spits out the schedule at the drop of a hat.
And that's based on one of 6 schedules.
Yep.
Bang, and it goes out to all the guys. Everybody knows what they're doing, when they're doing, how they've got to do it. Done. Yeah. And I mean, that estimating tool that you created as well, you know, people often say, oh, there's so many variables. There's hundreds or thousands of variables. So we used to have a team building and training business, and people say, oh, you know, the amount of quotes that, the amount of things that go into a quote, number of staff, number of vehicles, whatever the case is. My dream was always to have an instant quoting system. You could go online and within like 30 seconds to a minute get a detailed quote. And everybody said it was impossible, and we frickin' did it. Mm. And you've done the same thing with the bathroom where you've gone, okay, there are 12 variables, working through these, and we're able to give you a pretty bloody accurate estimate.
Yeah.
And then that's really important as part of your sales process, because I think some people have no idea how much a bathroom's going to cost. Like they have they're not, you go, what's the budget? And they're like, I have no idea where even to start. And this is a really powerful positioning tool where people go, okay, that's sort of the range, which is where your 50% conversion rate comes in, where you then go, okay, let's pick up the phone, have a chat. They're either not ready now. You know, Nina, who works with us, like she's like, going to do our bathrooms. I'm just saving up some money, and then I'm going to get you to do it, right? So,
what's interesting about what you've said there in terms of people just don't know what it costs. A lot of people in construction, builders specifically, get annoyed about it. So someone rings up, they want a bathroom, you get talking, I've only got 10 grand to spend. Oh, what are you wasting my time for? Go away, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But you think about it, right? Like, they just don't know. So, for example, if I wanted to go and get, braces, and I went to the dentist, and I said, all right, I want to get braces, I've got $500. He's going to turn around and go, I'm assuming, laugh me out the door. It's the same scenario. Like, I just don't know. So, rather than getting the shits about it, how about just try and educate them and take them through, right? So they might do the estimated tool and it comes out at 28,000 or whatever. Still make the phone call, have the conversation, try and talk them through it, educate them as to why it is what it is. You know what I mean? Rather than just getting a call and just going up, you know what I mean? So like, because you're just losing all that potential leads and all potential work. Like all it takes is a little bit of education. You can send them some white papers or whatever else, nurture them a little bit. Because if you're a school teacher and you work at retail, why would they know what a bathroom reno costs? They're so far removed from that. Just because we're in it all day, every day, and we know the ins and outs of it, doesn't mean somebody else does. It's like you walking into Myer and just being expected to know what this dress costs.
Yeah.
As a builder, I'm generalising, obviously, and maybe you do know. But you just wouldn't know, you know what I mean? And you can't turn around and say, oh, you're an idiot, you don't know how much this dress costs. It's obviously, you know.
Oh, I reckon the worst is lingerie. Like the smaller it gets, the more expensive it seems to be. What's the deal?
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
I think even like going back to all that, like even though the people don't know, like the systems in place to like show them and everything works out really well, but every call is still an important call. Like I don't look at like the job description that they already filled out and all that kind of thing and be like, oh, they picked like 15 grand or something. Oh, this is no hope. Like what do they think I can produce for 15 grand? Like I still ring them up, coach them through it, talk to them about this, Oh, we can do this, do this.
Yeah.
And like still talk to them. By the end of the conversation, they're like, oh, okay. Like,
because they don't know, right? An educated prospect is a good prospect.
Yeah. Exactly.
And also might be, no, not now, but it's not ever. Yeah. It's like, let's educate them. I mean, you created we say white paper, so just for everybody listening, a white paper is like it's not a brochure that says buy my shit. A white paper is educating people around just things. Giving. So mistakes people make, or the one that really worked well with you was the 19 and a half steps to renovating a bathroom. And remember when you went to, was it a tile mob, and you said, oh, we've got some information, would you mind handing out? And they're like, oh, we're not so sure. And then you showed it to them and they're like, oh, can you bring more?
Yeah.
Like, this is so important. Like, people don't understand all the steps that are involved in doing a bathroom renovation. It makes their job easier to sell more tiles.
Yeah. So that was one of the suppliers.
TV shows don't help us out.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no.
The block and all that. You do a bathroom overnight.
4 days. Like, heaps of people ring up, oh, why is it taking so long? I was like, 20 working days. That's pretty quick, I would think.
Yeah. Actually, that could almost be another white paper. It's not the block.
Yeah. That's got legs, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're definitely right. So with that 19 and a half steps, it actually helped the suppliers out, because some people didn't understand the process. So before they even had a builder, they were trying to make selections and order things, and they were just all about, all around the wrong way sort of thing. So it actually helped them out as well, yeah.
Cool, man. Hey, is there anything before we sort of wrap up? This has been amazing. I hope. Is there anything we haven't covered or anything you'd want to talk about? Or
I'm pretty good. Maybe one thing, go back to like when you said Sheldon, like scale business, wanted to jump down to this Sunshine Coast, start up a U1. Like, in my mind, I was happy. Step up, branch manager, get full control. He had trust in me. Pretty big, like, trust, like, to supply someone the whole business, give me free range, whatever I want to do, play with his money.
Not whatever.
Not whatever, but...
The guy rails it up a little.
Like, it's a massive step for Sheldon, like, literally, like, I know it sounds bad, but, like, literally, I'm playing with his money. I'm not, like... But he got the trust in me to do it, and I came out on top so far. So, But with that, like, he put in all this hard effort up in Cairns to get the branch where it was, where he could have sat back at home and just, and let this business run itself. You know what I mean? Still paid himself, but he had the initiative to just, I'm going to start up another branch. Like, even Kim would have said, what are you doing? Like, Like, why are you starting up another branch when you just put in all this effort in Cairns to get it streamlined to the T, and then jump down there to start with another one? Like, he could be
balls.
Yeah, exactly.
He got
like,
balls
he didn't
and
give
drive.
up. Like, he got to a stage and he was like, well, I sort of just want more. Like,
can I say though, it was fucking hard.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I did tell you.
You said it was going to cost more, take longer, be harder than I thought, and I said, okay, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
But oh man, it is a lot.
But to set everything up here, and then just be like, oh well, I've done that. I'm going down there. I'm going to do it again. And like.
And you did it quite quickly. When you went down there, like you had a plan, Gantt chart, you worked out everything. You went down there and a bit of acts as if, like you had to act as if you already had it to be able to have it. But you were employing guys. You got an office down there. You fully committed to it. What's going to be exciting is when you open up your third branch, which is where the lessons from Cairns, Sunshine Coast now goes into Brisbane, and then once that's there. Then this is where you're then looking at how much further you want to scale, because you'll have this all worked out. It's going to be so exciting. I'm so excited about the future for you guys. Pumped.
It's one of them things like no book, podcast, no disrespect coaching.
100%
could prepare you for, and you probably feel this as well with me leaving, can prepare you for like actually doing it, and the lessons that I learnt doing it, like actually being in the weeds and just fighting to make it work, you know what I mean? Like, you just got to at some point just do it. and then document it. Like, obviously, don't just willy-nilly just throw things at the wall, hope it sticks. But, there's only so much prep you can do, and it gets to the point you just got to do it.
There's a saying, what you lack in experience, you make up for in action.
Yeah.
And you take a lot of action. Like, that's not working. You don't go and cry in a corner. You're like, okay, next, that's not working. That's not working. Oh, got some traction.
Yep.
Bang, bang, bang. Just relentless. You have been freaking relentless.
I think when I was project managing, I would like see Sheldon once a week, maybe call him like twice, 3 times a month. Like we barely even spoke and everything ran good and everything like that. And then once he moved down to the Sunshine Coast, no offense, but he would ring me every second day. He's like, what about this? What about this? Like, how can we improve on this? And like just the what must have been going through his head to start that business up down there, and like it. Like,
but again, without having someone to bounce it off, you know what I mean? Like like just invaluable to, hey, what do you think about this? No, that's shit. Okay, yeah, I mean,
and having somebody that can do that, right? Yeah. Like often that's the case as well. Is like you're lucky that you got somebody like Alex that's happy to challenge you on ideas, because you want to have some rigor and thought behind it. But also, I know we've had a couple of conversations as well. It's like, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, have you thought about that? No, I haven't thought about that. And even I don't mind when it's not argue, but it's like, this is what I see, this is what I see, boom, 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 boom. There's rigor behind it. Then you can make an informed decision. Yeah. So now I'm super proud of what you guys have done, and very, very excited about what the future's going to hold. And hey, thanks for your time. This has been amazing.
No, thank you. And thanks for your help along the way. Like I said earlier, obviously joining the program definitely changed the course of my career, and I'll go as far as saying my life. You know what I mean? From that point, obviously, work is a big part of your life, and just from where we were a couple of years ago to now, like chalk and cheese, So, no, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure and enjoying the ride, man, and looking forward to what you're going to do in the future. Yeah.
It's only just started.
Cool, man. Sure. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sam.